Hello you lovely people, this is me the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to yet another episode of the curry world. When you actually shut your eyes and think of a curry, what immediately comes to your mind is a bright red colored curry which is served with of course a bowl of steamed rice. Now shut your eyes again and think coriander, mint, green chilies run into a paste and added into a curry with no red chilies of course. The color that you think now is green, isn't it? That exactly is the color of our next curry, which is Hariyali Chicken Curry from India. Hariyali Chicken Curry, the name itself tells you the color of the curry, like I said before. Now for this, of course, we are going to make a green paste using certain few ingredients. But before landing onto that step, let's quickly stir fry the chicken a little. We're going to use a kadhai or a deep wok, and to this we're going to add in oil. Little or more is a completely personal choice. Remember the fact that the chicken is also going to start leaching out its own fat. So that's also going to add to the oil in a way of this recipe. Once this oil just kind of begins to heat up, I'm going to add in the pieces of chicken. Now this is thigh and leg, not boneless, it's on bone. Once the chicken goes in, I'm going to add in turmeric. Well, turmeric in this recipe is very important because it brings out that green color primarily and predominantly very well. So a little turmeric. And at this stage, I'm also going to add in salt because the chicken has to start getting flavored right from the beginning. Let's stir this well and ensure that the chicken begins to sear on the outside. And of course, now it's got that wonderful flavor of turmeric and salt already. While this is happening, let's move into the Hariyali quotient of this recipe, and that is making the paste of course, coriander, mint, chilies to begin with. But along with that, I'm also adding in few more ingredients, beginning with onions. Now in this case, I'm using red onions. Red onions could be used in multiple ways in this recipe. You could dice them and throw them so that there's that nice bite in the recipe. You could also add it while searing the chicken so that along with the chicken, the onions also start browning. Another trick, the way I'm using is making a paste of the red onions, and you would wonder why the paste. The paste becomes nice and thick. A lot of people do not tell you or do not know for the matter of fact that onions also work as a wonderful thickening agent in Indian curries. That's a trick for you to know. So I'm going to add in roughly cut red onions, and along with this I'm going to add in coriander leaves. Need to pick them, wash them, and just cut it roughly. Add this into the blending jar. Along with this, I'm going to add in mint leaves for that wonderful flavor. Keep an eye on the chicken, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want the chicken to get burned. Of course, searing is one thing, burning is a complete another story altogether. Let's add in some cloves of garlic. Let's bring in some layers of flavor with green chilies, of course. Now, you may think the green chilies are too much or too many, but there's going to be dahi in the recipe. There's also going to be onion and all these things in the recipe. So all of that is going to get masked. So green chilies, a little more would also work perfectly well. Also for the fact that there's no red chili in the recipe because it's a Hariyali chicken. We want that pronounced emerald-like green color in this recipe. Some curry leaves. Along with this, some ginger, juice of lemon, which is going to also ensure that the green becomes nice and pronounced. Well, ensure that all the seeds are collected because you do not want surprises in your mouth. And last but not the least, I'm going to add in dahi. A quick look at the chicken. And the next is to run this into a nice and smooth paste. Our paste is done and ready. Let's add this straight into the chicken. Let's sear this for at least 5 minutes so that one, the raw flavor of course goes away and the oil also starts releasing the sides of the pan. Once this starts well bubbling, you will notice that the oil starts releasing like so. At this stage, we're going to add in water. I'm deliberately adding water in the jar and then adding it in the curry so that you also get the remaining masala from the jar. The bubbling at this stage would lightly settle. After the addition of water, you of course need to adjust salt. And last but not the least, some garam masala. Let's stir this well. Cover this and allow this to cook on medium flame for at least 15 to 20 minutes. With this, Hariyali chicken is done and ready. With this, off goes the flame. This goes straight in the serving bowl. Let's garnish this with some mint leaves, sprinkle in some juliennes of ginger and green chillies. To add in that flavor and that amazing creaminess in this recipe, I'm going to add in fresh cream. And finally, last but not the least, a little pinch of garam masala. With this, our Hariyali chicken curry is done and ready. Now whether you serve this with naan, roti, pav or even steamed rice, trust me, this is going to be stunning. On that note, do not forget to stay tuned for more such stunning recipes in this very special series called My Curry World. Bye for now.